If you're looking to do something in the future, you've got three choices about how you see that future event. Number one, you can have absolute certainty it's going to happen, right? Number two, you can hope it's going to happen. Or number three, you can worry about it not working out. I think most people agree that's probably the range of possibilities. There's extremes. You could say it's never going to happen. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in people who actually want something to happen, and how you come to contemplate the outcome of what you want probably falls into one of these three categories. Now, people who have absolute certainty about the future, they tend to have that because of how their mindset has been has grown, or how their mindset has been built over their lifetime. It could be because they've done lots of personal development. It could be because they've been around really positive people. It could be because they've been very successful in other areas. Therefore, that has set up an expectation of success in the future, right? And the concept I want you to think about in the context of this is certainty, right? Certain people just have certainty about the future. Now, what I want you to realize is that nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. If you don't believe me, talk to any stock trader, right? We don't know what's going to happen. So having certainty about a trade or a stock or anything else doesn't mean it's going to happen. What matters is how the person pictures it in their mind. So let's say, for example, I have certainty about, let's say a pretty simple goal. Let's say I have certainty about traveling to Belfast this weekend, okay? And I'm absolutely certain that it's going to happen. If that was to happen, how do you think I would picture it in my mind's eye? If I think about, let's say, meeting a friend of mine at the Europa Hotel at 2 o'clock on a Saturday, and I'm absolutely certain it's going to happen. What do you think the picture in my mind's eye would be about this future event? Do you think it'd be clear? Do you think it'd be like very vivid and very like almost realistic, almost like watching it in real life, but it's just like a snapshot? Yeah. That's what I'm saying is when people have got certainty, how they picture their mind's eye is vivid, bright, clear, almost like lifelike. It's almost like in their mind's eye, there's an absolute certainty it's going to happen. It doesn't mean it is going to happen, but how they hold it in their mind's eye is very, very interesting. Now, let's take the other end of the spectrum. Let's say somebody says, I'm worried I'm not going to be able to make my meeting at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Imagine that's the statement I make to somebody instead. If I was to make that statement out loud and say, I'm worried about making my meeting at 2 o'clock on Friday, what do you think I'm going to picture? Do you think that picture is going to be as bright and as clear in my mind's eye? It's not, is it? Right? Do you think the picture might be maybe further away or dimmer or not as bright? Maybe it could be darker or maybe a little bit fuzzy. The contrast might be as bright. Or do you think maybe I might be actually bringing a consequence of not meeting there instead? Maybe I'm going to be thinking about the car breaking down. So I'm actually not even thinking about the event at 2 o'clock. I'm actually thinking about that bloody car that's not reliable. I'm not sure it's only even going to get me to Belfast. Or maybe I'm thinking about the car is already broken and I'm thinking about how the hell am I going to move this car? Is it going to be fixed on Friday? And so I'm worried about something that stops me getting there. Does that make sense? Now, can you see in your own mind how different the perspective or how different the picture is in your mind's eye between those two? Worry one is probably thinking about something going wrong, right? It's like not a clear picture of the final event, but certainty, it's absolutely clear, bright. You can feel it. Maybe you're even excited about thinking about it, right? Now, the difference between those two pictures is actually called submodalities. It's the sub-properties of the visual modality. So the sub-property, big mouthful, the sub-property of the visual modality is called the submodality. Okay, so the submodalities of the certainty picture is going to be really bright and strong and very compelling. In fact, you might even say it's motivating. Remember that, it's motivating. However, the picture of worry that I might have is probably not going to be as motivating. In fact, it might be a little bit repulsive because it's actually getting me to consider all the things that could go wrong or the things that have already gone wrong that's going to get in the way. In other words, it's going to create an impediment to motion. Does that make sense? Now, here's the interesting one. There's another way of contemplating something in the future, and that thing is called hope. Now, what's really interesting is I didn't realize this till quite recently. If you hope something's going to happen, what are you actually thinking about? And you might not realize this, but you probably confirm it yourself in a second. When you hope something's going to happen, you actually hold two pictures in your head. You hold a picture of it happening as if it was certain, but you also hold a second picture, which is the worry about the thing that might get in the way, stopping it from happening. Does that make sense? So you actually have kind of two. Now it could be a movie, it could be two pictures running side by side. It could be one picture that kind of appears and the other one appears over. It could be flashing between them. Or it could be just two pictures you're holding your set simultaneously. Or some version of that. Or it might be one picture is really strong, one picture is weak. And maybe the worry one is stronger than one that's weak. The point is that if you hope something is going to happen, you actually have to have two pictures in your head. Does that make sense? Right. Now, the thing is, the person who hopes something's going to happen, are they as committed to making something happen as the person who's got certainty? They're not. And the reason they don't is because the person who's got certainty could be wrong, but they're more likely to take action to make it happen. In fact, they're not even going to put effort into it. Think about that. It's probably going to be easy for them to get there at 2 o'clock on the Saturday. Right? Why? Because they have absolutely no reason to believe it wouldn't happen. Doesn't mean it's going to. And that's the difference between somebody who actually has certainty about the future and somebody who doesn't. A lot of people actually hope that the future will happen the way they want. And because they hope it's going to happen, they create obstacles or impediments to their path. Or maybe they worry in case it doesn't happen. And then what happens? They contemplate the thing not working out. So what I want you to do is I want to think about things you want to do in the future and ask yourself, do you have certainty it's going to happen? And you might find that some people you're automatically certain it's going to happen, which is great. If you do, that means you've got a mindset of certainty. This is the most valuable skill you can teach someone who's not an expert in personal development, is to develop an attitude of certainty about the future, about your goals, about your outcomes. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it highly, highly amplifies the likelihood of it just because the way you think about the outcome. Hope you found that useful. If you do, please subscribe. I'll tell you more tips next time.